In today's live stream, we are going to be discussing how to efficiently manage your subcontractors in Sage Intacct. So we're going to talk about tracking your commitments or your subcontracts and your invoices and pay applications that come in from your subcontractors. We're going to be talking about how to manage those subcontracts. Tracking, when you send them out, when they come back in, signed, and then how to email out your subcontracts, your change orders to your subcontractors. Okay, so let's jump in to Intacct. And as you can see, I'm on my dashboard after I logged in at the top level, but I'm going to go into my general construction entity. And we're going to navigate over to the purchasing area. And in this area, you have your subcontracts. As you can see, your purchase orders and our change orders to those purchase orders and subcontracts. Now, in other systems like Sage 300, your change requests link to your subcontractor change orders. In Intacct, you go right to change order in here. So you don't have that change request step in between. Okay, so just a side note there. All right, so let's go to subcontracts here. And let's go ahead and add a new one. Okay, so this would be, you want to issue a subcontract to a vendor. I'll just pick anybody here. So let me pick a different one here. Okay, we're going to fill in our project. I can start typing the number, or I can also start typing the name. Okay, it pre-fills the last change order or change log number right here, change order number. So right now I don't have any, so that's a 0. Okay, and then you're going to come down here and you can fill in some defaults here like retainage. And these I won't touch on too much. They're not required, but we can do different things here with different fields on the forms for it to pre-fill. So if your vendor has their own subcontract number or own job number or something, you could use some of these fields for that. Okay, you want to select your correct payment terms. Now, some of these subcontracts might be when the owner pays you, you then pay the subcontract. So just another side note here, you can add different payment terms and put pay when paid in here as a payment term if you'd like. Okay. So down here, you could use some shipping dates if you want, your contract start date with your subcontractor when you want them to start work, when the anticipated end date is, and other dates, as you can see. The scope here, this is where you would fill in, it looks like it's a small field, but it's actually really large. You can fill in, your scope here for the subcontractor and any inclusions or exclusions on that scope. Okay. Some more schedule dates. And then this would be in your, when you have issued the contract out, when it has come back, signed would go down here. So external signed, dates, internal tracking. So if accounting, if your project manager issues it, accounting then sends it out or approves it. Then it comes back. You can track your dates down here as far as when it came back, signed by the contractor. And then if you sign it after the subcontractor has signed it, you can come up here and do an internal signed by and date. Okay, so depending on your flow of how you send these out and how you retrieve them back in, and log all that, that would be what this area is all about. Okay. And then if you, require a performance bond on this subcontractor, you would put some of this information in right here. Okay. And payment bond as well. Okay. But to get to the coding part of this, we're going to put in the project. And let's put a cost code in. And again, I can just start typing and some information will pop up for cost codes that have part of that description in there. Okay, and then my cost type, if you're using kind of the standard equipment, materials, subcontract, other, your cost type is going to be subcontractor right here. Depending on the cost code that you pick, the cost types will come up. So that depends on how you've set up the standard list or your specific list for this project on if this cost code is asphalt paving, what's available for my cost types. So this kind of drives what's available over here. Okay, you can always add it on the fly too with the add word here. Okay, and then it's going to pre-fill your item ID for you, so leave that the way it is. And then we can default this to say price too, but I just want to put a lump sum price in. So I'm going to change this here to price. And we'll put an amount in here. And my retainage defaults to what I set up above. Okay. Now on your vendors, you can also, on this Jackson Plumbing, when you set up the vendor in accounts payable, you can have a default there. So that would come in as default retainage when you pick that vendor there. Okay. So let's put just a small scope up here. Something just to get something in there, and we're going to post it. Okay, so that's as simple as it is for getting a subcontract into the system. Okay, now let's say you want to convert this to when the subcontractor initiates an invoice for you. So you want to, and sends an invoice to you, you want to convert this to an invoice. Okay, so let's come down here and put in some required fields. So that would be the vendor's invoice number. Really nothing else needs to be done here. This all pre-fills up here as well. And let's say they only billed you for part of it. Okay, and we're going to post that. I'm going to show you what happens here. Okay, so now you can see it takes you to the subcontract invoices screen. So here's the one that was just created. Okay, so let's go back and look at the subcontract. And you can see, instead of saying converted, like it's been all the way converted from a subcontract to invoiced out completely, except retainage, it says partially converted. So there are still some amounts, there's still $25,000 left to bill on this subcontract. Okay, so it says partially converted there. Okay, so we could come back into it or over here and hit convert again. And let's say we've got another invoice number, the second one, and I'm going to leave it there. Okay, because I split it in half. But if you needed to change it again and just keep billing away on it. Okay, so we're going to post that. And again, it takes us to that screen. I'm going to go look back here at the actual subcontract. And now it says it's fully converted. Okay, so you'll notice that on the menus here on this list, you have an edit still. So even though you've posted it, you can still come in here and log things. So you can put your dates for, did the subcontractor sign it and send it back? You come in here and make some changes. You can make some changes here. You can change, various things. Now, it will not let you change things. It will warn you. So it'll give us an error. Now that scope I could change. So if I quickly wanted to revise a scope, maybe I did something wrong with the scope, I could come in here and potentially change it. Now I didn't post it. I just said done. So I'm going to try to do this again and hit just make it shorter and hit post. And then I'm going to come back into it. And you can see it's changed. Okay, so if there's a post button, use that if you want to save the change as opposed to done. Done's probably more like I just want to get back to the previous screen of my list of all my contracts. Okay, so there's flexibility in here to make changes more so than other systems as far as once you've committed this or posted it, other systems, it was hard to change. And here there's a lot more flexibility to making changes. Okay. All right. So let's go over to change orders. So right here is where I would initiate a change order. Okay, so let's go and add one. Okay, so let's click on. So again, I just started typing Jackson. Okay. Pick my project. So I want this to say number 1. Come in here and put a scope to the change order. Again, fill in anything else. If you have a revision to the schedule, if you have a schedule impact of a week, you can come in here and put 7 days on here, for example. So different dates you can play with. And then here you're going to want to attach it to your subcontract. Okay. I'm going to pick my 1 line that I had on my subcontract. Now you could have multiple lines. So if you have a mechanical or an electrical guy, you have a few lines, that would be a good example. You might want to just affect the one line. Okay, so I'm going to add $5,000. And it's got my retainage. Now, let's say you did not want to hold retainage because you're at the end of the contract or something, and you can take that out, okay, here, and it won't default down there, okay? So let's go ahead and post this. Okay, and now that is listed here. Okay, another way to do a change order, you could actually go to the actual subcontract. Okay, you want to go to at least view it. And one thing that, something to kind of remember is check this more actions button when you're on screens, because there's various things that you can do. Like you can edit how the fields show up on certain areas, for example. But on here, I want to show you the new change order. Okay, so you can also see I could convert it to subcontract invoices right here too. I could make, copies, but I want to come in here and subcontract change order. Okay, so now you can see it's pre-filled a bunch of things for me. Okay, so you come down here and it's already got my source document and all my related fields. Now you'll want to change, the price here to be your change order price, but this would be your a little easier it'll pre-fill everything for you. Okay, if you needed to put a scope in that's different than the actual subcontract, you change it there. Again, changing your other date fields here and such. Okay. Okay, now let's say that we want to email out a subcontract, and this applies to subcontract change orders as well. Then you can do them right here, one-offs. So right on the fly, you could email this out. So it's as simple as just clicking here. It pulls up the screen that says, do you want to print your email? You click email there. And you can see that it pre-fills in some items here for you. So Brett was probably the project manager on this project. But depending on different settings, you would pre-fill, or he's the subcontractor. So that's the email address to the subcontractor. The from field, he also is the PM under Timberline General Construction that's sending it. Okay, but normally these obviously would be different email addresses. You can also set up different templates as far as how you want the form or the email to look. So you can click this preview the PDF attachment link as well. And this could be your subcontract. So if you use something, that you've written up for your company and you want to put that entire subcontract in here, that's customizable and can be done. This is just a simple form that's already in there. Okay, out of the intact standard ones. So you can then from here just hit OK, and it will send that form with the on the email template you set up the wording that you want your actual email to say. Please see attached. This attachment, please see attached form. Please sign and return to Brett, or if you have an accounting email address you want them to send it back to, you could have your email template to do those various things. Okay. So it's really easy to send them right on the fly through after you initiate it and get it created. You can send it out right here. Okay, so to send out a bunch of subcontracts all at once, so let's say PMs create the subcontracts and you have maybe accounting, send them out at the end of the day, every day or something, you can do a mass email process to get those to go out all at once. Okay, so you don't have to come in here one by one and do them. Okay, so I'll get over to that area here. Okay, so we're going to come down here to print or email transactions. And it's going to pre-fill depending on some settings you have set up. And I'm going to also click on previously sent so we get a good selection of them. Just scroll down. And I'm going to pick posted only, and I'm going to pick a email template. Normally these would be set up on each record, so you wouldn't have to do that. Each vendor can have its own template actually. Okay, now we're going to view the list of subcontracts that are it's going to generate to be sent. It won't send them, but we'll click view here. And now you can see the list it has generated based on my filters and such on the previous screen. So I can decide I want to send these out, but hey, I want to print these out. So maybe for some reason these guys don't accept email and you need to print and mail them, for example. So you can do different functions all on the same screen, and it'll tell you who it's going to, and if you have any carbon copies or blind carbon copies on. And then it's as simple as just hitting that button, and it does different functions. Okay, so if I hit printer email, I'm going to change this to my email though. Going to override these quick. And now it's telling me to go here to retrieve the ones that I have printed. So the 2 that I've printed. So we're going to go to purchase orders, reports, my stored reports. So right over here. And they do take a minute to generate. So if you go there pretty quickly, they won't necessarily be there. But you can see I actually created 2 PDFs because I had some purchase orders. But if you just click the PDF button here, it'll pull up your form and you can print them out. Okay. Now, as you saw when I was doing it before, just one off, it will pull it up right away. But when you do the mass reporting, you need to go into that My Stored Reports area, like it directed you to, and they'll be there. Okay. So some upcoming live streams that will be on Bug, the Bangerant user group, will be how to use your subcontract logs and your related change orders. So like when you're paying, a subcontractor, is their document back and signed? Did they send their signed subcontract back? What's the status of them? So that will be an upcoming live stream. So look for that on the Bangerant user group. So here's the Bangerant user group website. So if you haven't joined it yet, or if you have other team members that might be interested on your team, it's completely free. So just go out to that bug.bangerantinc.com. It's simple as putting your email address in and a password and generating a sign-on. If you have any further questions, reach out to us at help@bangerantinc.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on various things, Intacct and such. And there are a lot of YouTube videos on our channel. So I encourage you to go out there and search for content that you might be interested in. Again, reach out to us if you have any further questions or need assistance. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next live stream.